Ready to go.
Hey, welcome to Life in the Leadership Lane. I'm your host, Bruce Waller, where I get to talk to leaders that are making a difference in the workplace and in our community. What did they do to get started? And what are they doing to stay there? And oh my goodness, here we are live in Fort Worth, Texas at the HR Southwest Conference, the 83rd year. And I'm bringing you another special guest. Today I'm getting ready to talk to Maya Kelly. Hey Maya, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good. Maya is the VP, the Vice President of People and Culture at R&R Partners. She also serves Texas SHRM on the Global Conference Committee as well as one of our directors. And wow, man, I'm so excited to see you. How many conferences have you been to? I was just thinking about as we were talking about the HR Southwest Conference.
So HR Southwest Conference is my second conference.
Second year?
Second year.
Okay.
It is really exciting this year. I'm trying new things, but I'm loving the experience. It was great last year, and it's even better this year.
I love that. Okay, so now where did you drive from or fly from? Or are you here in Dallas?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Okay. Oh, and a former, or your current president, Austin SHRM.
I am currently president of Austin SHRM.
Okay, I said Austin SHRM. Is it SHRM Austin?
It's SHRM Austin. It's SHRM Austin.
I gotta get used to that. That's what we're branding. Okay, so you're also the president of the chapter, one of the larger chapters in the state of Texas. And so, this is your second year.
Second year.
Okay, so I get a few questions ahead of time, but I am curious, like, you have the conference for yourself, and then you come to the HR Southwest Conference. There's travel involved. Why do you come back to the HR Southwest Conference and travel all the way here? What's the benefit you see?
You know, I think it's just an opportunity for, it's the North Texas Conference, right? And I think it's just I love the fact that I get to meet people who are newly coming to HR, newly coming to the state, and maybe they don't have a chapter, so I feel like it's just an opportunity to connect, to build a bigger community. And I'm also remote, so I think this gives me my connectivity that I need from like-minded people. So that is why I come. And it's just a bigger conference, and I think it just has more of a wide net. You know, we think of our network, you know, Austin may have a smaller hub, but I think we can reach a lot more people coming to a big conference like HR Southwest.
Okay, you mentioned something that I know that's been a hot topic, and I've really talked about it with the other guests, and you mentioned remote work and that connectivity. Talk about that for a second. So you're remote, so you have a team that is all probably on the are they all in the U.S.?
They're all over the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talk about the importance of that connectivity. Like, okay, so you come to the conference, you get connected. What are some of the, how does it help you?
Well, I feel like first of all, I think establishing a high-performing team, or really any meeting, it's about relationship building, and a lot of that rapport is spent in person. I think you really get a better opportunity to understand where folks are at. I think when we have such a large team, I want them to be able to really get to know one another outside of just a meeting, because sometimes meetings are so agenda-driven and really doesn't allow a lot of time for them to connect on maybe a deeper level. And I really want them to have a lot of depth in their relationships, meaningful relationships, not only, you know, on our team, but within the agency. Hopefully they can carry that into their personal lives.
I think that's such a big topic, and I think there's remote work. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Like, is remote work here to stay? I mean, I think we've proved that we can work remotely. I think you're saying, everybody seems to want to, do things a little bit differently, right? Some people want a hybrid, some people want remote work, some people want all back to the office. What are your thoughts? Just real quick on remote work. Obviously, it works for you.
It works for us. And, you know, to be honest, we were at one point maybe we'll revert back. They were pretty much an agency that worked in person. But the question started to come around was, well, why would we do that? We've been productive. What would be the biggest reason why? And there really wasn't a good enough reason for folks to make the switch to go back to working in office. We started to realize that people had personal things that they were doing, like taking care of elderly parents. And I feel like when your employees feel, and I say this to my team, when they feel like they're happy, healthy, and whole, their productivity is higher, they'll take you exponential places. So I think if you focus on the person, making sure that they have what they need, they'll excel. So really, it's like you really have to have the environment of being together in order to be productive and to, positively impact the bottom line into that as well. Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about the HR Southwest Conference. So what have you enjoyed so much so far? Like, have there been any sessions or any speakers that really stood out to you?
So, I attended, this year was my first year going to the Executive Network track, and I went to Holly Novak's session, and it was really awesome. She talked about really kind of like transforming HR, but really leaning into a model to talk about change management. I loved her approach, her thought process. It was real, honestly. Sometimes in HR we can try to do things in a book form, or this is how you do things, and I think she gave us a lot of practical tips of this is what I'm doing, this is what you can do, and I think there are a lot more nuggets to take away from this session this morning, but it was great.
Yeah, Holly Novak was on a previous guest on my podcast, and I just saw her right before we came on. I said, hey, people are really talking really great about your session, and she said, Bruce, I just had to tell my story.
Yeah.
People can like connect to that. So.
It resonates. That's the thing with people, their story, it resonates. So yes.
Okay, so what are some other highlights of the conference so far for you? I mean, we started all the way back and we had our meetings on Saturday.
We did.
Sure.
We did.
And the conference really started on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. What are some highlights?
So for the conference, I do like the cows. I love the decompressing.
The cows
were ahead. And I don't know what it is about us in Texas and animals, but we love our cows. And I came last year, they had the dogs, and I thought the cows were really a nice session. I don't know why. But that was good. I love that aspect of it. I love the fact that, you see around HR, the conference, these different sections for you to paint or to just talk with one another. And I feel like creating those spaces where people can use their downtime to connect with each other is great, because it's not like a chair and a desk over there. Everyone's connected. And so I really love that about HR Southwest. It really gives you an opportunity to connect with people, and they create these spaces where you have to be one. Yes.
Let me ask you a question as I think about this. So you're taking it all in. You're going to all of these sessions. You're connecting with all these people. How do you take that and share that with your team? Or do you? Talk about that process. Because I think it's one thing to be here and to really learn and network and grow, and then you get back and then all of a sudden it's to the day-to-day. How do you keep that going?
It's interesting that you say that, because I feel like after a conference I have to take some time to digest, because even though I'm there as a learner, whatever I've taken, I have to make sure if I'm going to give it to my team, that it's broken down into the right size pieces to be able to give them that message so it lands just the same. So I think there are a lot of nuggets and things that I took away, like in my sessions, or even the one I did with Holly. It's like, oh, that's so good, but I can't give it to them like she gave it to us. Realizing that my team is a makeup of different levels of HR. So her very strategic thought process, in order to get my team there, I'm like, let's just start with the basics. She talked about this grid. This is something you can usually implement. So I think it's just kind of understanding where your team is at from a learning perspective, making sure, sometimes, is the message just for me or is it for my team? And I really love developing myself and taking a lot of nuggets for myself, because I feel like as leaders, it starts with us, to be honest with you. I feel like the behavior I want, what I want them to implement or emulate has to start with me. So I think depending on what it is, honestly, just making sure that I'm giving it to them in a similar same way where they're able to take or receive the message that I took from it.
I love that, and I think that's an art.
Yeah.
And so you probably didn't, right off the bat, you probably always like that.
Right.
You had to learn that along the way. And I want the listeners to hear that from you. Like, hey, listen, you just got to start somewhere. I'm trying to figure out. And I love what you said. You're intentional. You have to reflect on it, figure out what is going to apply to different people or different levels or whatever it may be, and then share that. I'm curious, as you were sharing earlier about how you need your connectivity, like me as well.
Right.
What do you do as far as like promotion or like your memory Do you advocate or encourage them to go to different conferences, or how can you encourage that? Connectivity like that?
Yeah, so I'm all about just professional development, learning and development. I'm also a huge SHRM ambassador. So I'm all about finding those resources outside of the office. And so SHRM is a resource, a huge resource for us. But I promote that and I empower them. So like what do I do? Empowerment is the biggest thing. Because regardless of where I see you, I want you to see yourself there. Because there's only so much, outside of things that I can do for you in a professional way at the office. I want you to be just as committed on a personal level to your goals as well. I feel like everything's reciprocity. I see you here, and it's really not even, I tell my team, not really where I see you. Where do you see yourself? Because I want to be that person that helps you get to where you need to be. So when you look back, I wasn't the person that helped you got there. I was a part of this puzzle. And I think that's the role I always want to be a play. Always want to play. I want to be a connector, a building block for you. So developing is key. Becoming to something like a conference is so important because I think you have to continue to build your network. And as you advance in your career, your network may change. And sometimes it's harder to have a different network if you don't know anyone else. So this HR Southwest is a perfect opportunity for you to build your network, like going to the executive network. This is my first time going. So now my interactions with those types of individuals are different because now I have that exposure. So exposure is going to be for sure.
I want to talk more about the conference, but before that, I just start thinking about, as you continue to serve, you are also serving as a Texas SHRM co-director with Gary for our global conference. What's for those who are listening now, what is the Texas SHRM Global Conference, and what really excites you about that conference? Because that's coming up next year. That's part of Texas SHRM, just like the HR Southwest Conference. Talk a little bit about Texas SHRM Global Conference.
I like the global conference. So this year was my first year attending the Texas SHRM Global Conference. This year they did a roundtable, so I really loved that element of it, and really knowledge sharing. And then the Texas Global Conference, honestly, I just love the different topics that are covered on a global level. I feel like that type of resource, or even knowledge sharing, even the panelists, I took so much from them just talking things out about how they did things. And to be very honest with you, even though I'm not global, there were pieces that I still took from that, because I feel like we never know, if a company decides to hire remotely, if that makes you global in some capacity. So the Texas Global Conference, I feel like offers content that's relatable for businesses that are in just global spaces, regardless of sector, which I think is awesome. But it's for HR professionals and kind of offering them an opportunity to be more efficient from their current state and scalability.
I love that. And I'll put a link in the show notes if people want to learn a little bit more about that. I definitely wanted to highlight that. You do a terrific job. I know that conference has been going on for a long time. Hey, well, let me ask you this. We're here in the marketplace. I mean, there is a lot happening in the marketplace.
Yes.
So for you, as a group, coming in, what's been your experience, and what do you see that stands out in the marketplace?
What's been my experience? Well, first of all, I love a good marketplace. I think this is where the magic happens, to be honest with you. I've met vendors at other conferences. We've met vendors here like Lone Star Staffing, where we can easily see the benefit. So I just feel like, one, you're bringing in the marketplace different businesses that can help HR professionals us progress to our job better. So one, I like the fact that it's all here. Two, like I like the little pockets of having that downtime. Like this group of people just sitting down, just kind of talking and conversing with each other.
I saw you earlier. You were over at the Texas SHRM area, and you were just sitting down visiting and just having a conversation, right?
Yeah, meeting people. You're like, I met someone today that's just like, man, I come to your happy hour, but I've never met you. So just kind of giving them an opportunity to have some face time. As a president, I think it's important that I'm front and center, that I'm available, that I'm approachable. So marketplace is like my jam. And you see everyone, what's been my favorite? Definitely the ribbon.
For those who are listening, Maya's holding up her ribbons. There are so many ribbons there, starting with an HR diva. I love that. Yeah, that's one of the fun
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, well, yeah, you can use it as an opportunity to express yourself. I think that's really a part of the creativity, right? Being able to express yourself and someone being like, they tap into that. So people get opportunity to see you as well.
Thank you. I love that. Well, appreciate you sharing how you disseminate information once you take it back to the workplace. I think that's going to help a lot of listeners as well. And I also want to ask you a question. Oh my goodness. I was going to ask you a question around the marketplace, but you know what? That's okay. The last question I have for you is, I want to ask you, is there someone that you want to give a shout out? I just love giving someone the platform to share appreciation. Someone that's really, I don't know, someone that you want to just shout out their name and what you appreciate about them. Anybody stand out?
So one person in particular, our state director, who's about to be past state director. So I would like to appreciate Roseanne Garza, who's our current state director, and a former president of HRSouthwest. She's a really good, wonderful human being, and she's very young to earn. And as much as I talked about the connectivity and all the things I love about HRSouthwest, she's a big extension of that. And I think it's important to look at leaders that she just has a lot of the same values, ethics, all of these things. And so I see a lot of myself in her, and I feel like that has to be a huge weight, but she always has a smile on her face. I never see her complaining, and that to me is a blessing. So I would like to shout her out, and of course, naturally, my family. I really have my supportive family, so on a personal level, just making sure I take the time out to appreciate the people that have gotten me thus far. So yeah.
I love that. Roseanne Garza has been serving as our state director, and so she rolls off the end of the year. She has done a phenomenal job. And it's interesting you shared that, because one of the things that I appreciate about her is that she's showed us how to share appreciation.
Yeah.
She does that in our meetings, doesn't she?
Yes.
So we all get to share appreciation that way. This has been so much fun. I appreciate you. I appreciate the wisdom that you shared today. Hey, here's the question I wanted to ask you. It just came to me. And here's the question is, for someone who lives far away, right? They live in another city, like Austin or San Antonio, or maybe another state. I don't know, give them one reason why they should consider coming to the HRSouthwest Conference. Because you've got to invest in travel there. And it's a 3-day conference, so there's a hotel. You just talk about that, just that's the close
Well, it's interesting, because I feel like I want to respond to that to be like, why not? We give ourselves so many reasons to not to do something. Like, honestly, say, why not? Go to the place where your cup is going to be refilled. I told my team this week, my cup is going to be, I'm refilling my cup. Because just in our profession, we give so much. Why would you not want to take an opportunity? It's a one-stop shop to come to a place where you can grow your network, become better in your craft, and have a good time doing it. And I feel like if you don't invest in yourself, who will? We talked about me promoting training and empowering. We talked about that reciprocity. If I'm going to put you there and try to help you get there, I want you to be willing to go. And I think you have to be willing to make a change, make a difference, and just be a better you and a better self. So why not come to HRSouthwest?
Why not?
Why not?
This has been incredible. Okay, so someone that heard me today, we're going to get a guest on podcast. We want to give the listener a chance to connect with you. They heard something you said, they're like, my journey. What's the best way for them to do that?
They can connect with me via email at maya.belly@rnrpartners.com, or they can connect with me on LinkedIn. There may be more than one Maya, but I'm the only one that's a current Austin Sherman president. But those would be the best two ways. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Absolutely, reach out.
It's been so much fun. And by the way, let's give a shout out for Sherman Austin, past president Brian Hayes, who is our volunteer leader of the year.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
How proud are you?
I'm really proud.
Well, thank you, Maya. I appreciate it. I'm going to put all of this in the show notes. And again, I appreciate you.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Awesome. See you.
Thank you.